Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review of AMC's The Walking Dead. This week we've seen Season 6, Episode 14, entitled Twice as Far. And overall, another pretty damn good episode, I have to say. Really, it is just more build-up, just more waiting to seeing Negan. That's what most of us are waiting for right now. So it is feeling a little bit getting there right now, but I think we're all just excited and sort of dreading his first appearance at the same time. So it kind of makes sense. But, these have all been pretty good episodes so far in Season 6, and especially this second half. I think they've all been pretty solid. And like I said, this episode is pretty good itself, so it's no exception. With this, we kind of focused on two different groups going on supply runs, or ended up being more focused on one in particular, but we kind of start off with two groups sort of branching off. Of course, Abraham and Eugene, and Daryl, Rosita, and Denise, who kind of felt like stepping up in this episode, and also the fact that she knew what they were looking for too, but she kind of wanted to conquer something personal to herself, her own fear pretty much. And she did it, but I think it was the other eye, actually, yeah. But anyway, we did see the death of Denise in this episode, and we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. It was kind of sad to see that happen, but again, I'll get into that more in a little bit. At the beginning, we didn't see much of Rick or anything in this episode. We just see him kind of in the opening scene. We see Morgan. He finished constructing the cell, with the cinder blocks and stuff like that. He tells when Rick asks him why, he says so he has choices next time. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go about it now that they have the option to sort of start jailing or putting people in prison. This could actually come in handy when they want to interrogate someone or ask them about Negan or something like that. So it has its uses, even from Rick's perspective, perhaps. We'll see. I did take my notes on it, by the way. Not a whole lot this week, but got most of the stuff down. Talked about Denise wanting to go on a supply run with Daryl and Rosita. Abraham and Eugene are sort of on their own. And Eugene, is trying to basically reestablish himself as a capable survivor. He sort of makes this, he goes off on a little bit of a tangent to Abraham, saying how he's a survivor, he's adapted, and this is the environment he's in, so he's going to become what he has to be. And he tries to demonstrate this by killing a walker, but he struggles, and he was reaching for this pipe to stab him with, but it looked like if he was going to keep reaching out for it, he probably would have gotten bit and killed and stuff like that, so Abraham had to help him out. And then Eugene told Abraham he didn't need his services any longer. He said he needed it from where they came to Washington, but at this point he no longer requires it. And so Abraham sort of abandons him after that, and tells him to find his way back on his own. And Eugene being left on his own definitely comes into play later. But the interesting part about this scene before Abraham leaves, though, is that we find out that they got to this building and Eugene's actually planning on making bullets from scratch, constructing them with lead and stuff like that, which is an idea I heard that they go about in the comics. It's something that eventually happens in the comics, so it's kind of cool to see this brought into the show. I don't think it started happening this early in the comics, but again, it's two different versions. So it's kind of cool to see Eugene kind of going along that same path. And of course, if he can really construct bullets at a decent rate anyway, if he can produce them, I don't know why I kept on saying construct, but anyway, it could obviously be very useful, because there's groups that think it's a complete joke when people have guns now because they don't believe there's any more ammunition out there. So obviously bullets will come in handy, especially now they're going to meet someone like Negan. So hopefully they kind of pick up on that pretty soon here. Let's see, talked about Abraham leaving Eugene. Denise, she does find the name of, when they're on the supply run, they get into the store, and Eugene sort of, not Eugene, Denise finds the name of her brother, apparently, who is named Dennis. And, it just sort of makes her think of him, and she sort of breaks down a little bit, gets scared by Walker. But as they're walking along back on the tracks, she sees this Walker in a car with a cooler, and she tries to convince Daryl and Rosita to, stop and, go for it, because there could be something in there that they could make use of, like drinks or something like that. But they don't think it's worth it, especially they both sort of know think anyway that Denise isn't ready to be out there like that, so they both just kind of want to hurry and get her back. But Denise actually opens the car door herself, and she wrestles around with the Walker, struggles for a minute, but she is actually able to stab and kill the Walker, so that worked out. That was actually a pretty cool moment, I thought. She does puke on her glasses, which I kind of thought was pretty funny, but she did it, and there turned out to be pop in the cooler, which was a nice tie back to her wanting Daryl to get that for Tara. And she actually does have a pretty good speech here about how she thinks Rosita is stronger than she thinks she herself is. How Denise thinks Rosita is so much stronger than she herself thinks she is, and how she actually feels like Daryl's a bit of a brother to her, and she actually feels safe around him, and she kind of chose them to go with her as a way to sort of help all of them out in their own individual ways, which I thought was pretty interesting, cool, psychologically and stuff, the way she talked about that. But then she gets a crossbow bolt through the back of the head, the skull, into the eye. And Denise is killed by Dwight, who still has Daryl's crossbow. And I know this is a pretty big death in the comics too, except it kind of occurred to a much more major character from what I've read. Again, I haven't read the comics, but I've read all the wikis and stuff like that, and I watched Trev's videos. But so I'm guessing some people are going to be kind of surprised this happened with Denise here. And it turned out Dwight actually captured Eugene as well, and Dwight actually has these burns on one side of his face, which is kind of tied to something with Negan, by the way, but I guess I'll have to watch more of that. I wonder if the details about that are going to be the same, but we'll see. Turns out Abraham was actually, sort of coming back around and trying to help Eugene. Eugene sees him behind the barrels, sort of looking on, and you can just see how much Daryl wants to kill Dwight right there. Just wishing he would have killed him, back in the early part of the season. Eugene tells Dwight that a companion of theirs is behind the barrels, and they go back to their check. Abraham's gone. He's actually coming in behind him, and they're able to fight off the saviors here. A couple of them are gunned down, but of course somehow all of our characters survive. I still think it's a little bit weird when there's guns blazing and the majority of these people are good shots, but hardly anyone actually dies. It gets a little bit weird sometimes, but still a pretty cool action scene here. Eugene actually bites Dwight on the dick, I guess, which is pretty funny, and it looks like it hurt like a mother. You know what I mean. So it was kind of funny. Dwight and the rest of the saviors retreat. Daryl wants to go after him, but he's stopped. But Daryl did get his crossbow back, so that's good. Eugene actually did get hit by a bullet in the leg, I think it was, and when they do eventually get back to Alexandria, Abraham does give him some credit, He knows I buy a dick, utmost respect. But I thought it was kind of nice to see him bond again. I'm glad Abraham was the one to get killed there, because we're all expecting a major character death in the finale, and most of us were expecting like a C-B level character to die in this episode, or 15. We still might see another one in 15, but I was expecting someone a little bit more important than Denise to get killed there, but I still didn't like seeing her die. It's kind of repeats that same Walking Dead cycle we've seen a lot, though, at the same time. Seeing a character get a decent amount of development, then they're killed in that same episode. We've seen that time and time again. So a little bit frustrating to see her killed off, and this won't help the perspectives of people who are saying the main group's invincible right now, but that should hopefully be turned around in the finale. So, yeah. Give me a second, guys.
I just want to say goodnight. Huh? Okay. Yeah, it's going to bed too.
Good night.
Night.
Hope you guys didn't hear me saying goodnight to my mom there, but, you know, I'm still 19 years old. Yeah, so it happens. Make all the comments you want. Anyway, Carol, you know, she also writes a note to Tobin breaking up with him, saying, you know, she can't kill anymore, and she knows if she loves someone, she's going to have to kill for him at some point, and she doesn't want to put herself or them in that dangerous situation, so apparently Carol actually leaves Alexandria. You know, the whole thing with Tobin felt really weird and random in the first place, but the big thing here is Carol left. So this is going to... I'm worried about her being out there with the Saviors and Negan right now. I have a feeling this is going to kind of set up something huge in the finale. We know Daryl's going after her in the next episode, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, overall, pretty good episode. You know, again, we also want to see Negan at this point, but again, not a bad episode despite that. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Facebook, Movie Pilot, and Spoiled.com. Catch you guys next time, and peace. How many times did I just... Yeah, I can't talk tonight.